Good morning, everybody. Joe here, budgetboss.ca. It is Tuesday. It is February the 16th. First things first, I want to make sure that you like, subscribe, and share this post. If you are on YouTube, if you are on Facebook, IG, or Twitter, make sure you're following, make sure you're liking, and sharing the post. I want people to join up, follow the movement, become a client. Join me and everyone else, the thousands of people who've made sure that Budget Boss is part of their daily life. I truly appreciate it. I really hope that you're enjoying the content, as more of it will come out all the time. We are approaching 4 years as Budget Boss, and that to me is an amazing thing. So let's get out and share and make sure more people become clients, and if not, become likers and followers of the page. So today I want to jump into a post that I released 2 years ago, about 1.5 years ago, and it is about coming into a large sum of money. Now, the reason I'm re-releasing this post is because I've had several clients come up to me recently telling me about how they have come into money. A few of them, it's been a sale of a house. A few of them, it's been an inheritance. Some of them have actually just saved up a bunch of money. It's now a larger sum that they feel they can do something with. But either way, coming into a large sum of money, and it could be any amount of money, to be honest. Some people, a large sum of money is a couple grand. Some people, a large sum of money is a couple million. But either way, they all require special circumstances, and they all require special care. And I want to re-release this post from July of 2019 because I'm encountering this a lot lately. And there's another big reason why. The greatest wealth transition in the history of our society is going to occur over the course of the next 10 years. This is where the baby boomers, like my parents, are actually going to leave their money to our generation and people below them. So I want to make sure that we are prepared for this wealth transition. I've heard an estimate that's about $10 trillion is going to move from one generation to the next. I could be wrong on that number, but it's a large amount of money is going to be moving from the boomer generation to my generation, or a little bit above me, Gen X, and whatnot. So I want to make sure that we're ready for that. I encounter this all the time. I deal with young people when they come into inheritances. I deal with young people when they come into starting off their life with a larger sum of money, and I want to make sure that people are doing the right thing at the right time, because the situation is a bit dire. You can actually ruin your life if you don't handle this properly, and then you do not want to be living with regrets as this goes on. So let's get right into the post. Let's see. So again, I released this back in July 15th of 2019. Everyone likes getting money. Who doesn't? We all want money. We all want more money. But at the same time, coming into money has a special set of its own problems. Now, I give a couple stats in here that are important. Most people, when they come into a large sum of money, 1/3 of them will be broke within 5 years. 1/3 of people within 5 years are broke after coming into a large sum of money. Now, we start to think of athletes, pro athletes, and I recommend you watch the ESPN 30 for 30 broadcast about being broke after coming into large sums of money. It shows that some pro athletes are broke within 3 years of coming into large sums of money. You see people that have made over $100 million in their lifetime be broke or indebted and claiming bankruptcy within 5-10 years after retirement. So this is a huge deal. Lottery winners, it's another thing. Lottery winners, over 1/3 of lottery winners are actually broke within 5 years of winning the lottery. Now, why is this? I think the big thing about it is that we just don't know what to do. We've never had it, so we don't know what to do with it. So I want to talk about this a little bit and make sure that we're understanding that, this can be a great opportunity, or it could be a curse if we don't handle it properly. So first things first, breathe, chill out. A lot of people think that when they have money in their pocket, they need to do something with it right away. That is not the case. People are like, well, what if something happens to me? If something happens to me, then you're dead, or you're sick, or you're hurt. You got to deal with that when you deal with that. Doesn't mean that this money's going to disappear. And in fact, if you take your time and structure it properly, it will last forever and beyond forever, multiple generations. The big thing about it is that a lot of people feel like it's a burning hole in their pocket. They need to do something right now. You need to gather information. You have been blessed with an amount of money that could last you multiple generations, but at the same time, it could be gone just like that. $1 million isn't what it used to be. $1 million used to last many generations. You think of the Beverly Hillbillies way back in the day, and they came into $1 million from oil and moved to Beverly Hills. $1 million now. The average house price in Toronto is close to $1 million. In London, Ontario, we're looking at $600,000 for a home. So $1 million, you can blow $1 million in a weekend, easy. So just chill out. The day before you didn't have this money. Let's make sure that the day after you do have this money. So there's nothing wrong with sitting, chilling, weighing your options, making sure that you are gathering information, finding trusted individuals to help you out with this process. Just chill. Don't go out and make a huge purchase right away. I would say wait maybe a month or two. And for me, I actually have a client that came into $2 million when his father passed away. He had stocks and options, and he also had some mutual funds, and he had property. So he inherited a house that was worth about $900,000, and he inherited $2.1 million in investable assets. He didn't even quit his job. His job only paid him about $40,000 a year. He stayed at his job. He wanted to make sure that he was gathering information, doing all the right things. His job wasn't some sort of back-breaking labor job where he was hurting himself every day. It was a pretty cushy job, even though it didn't pay him a hell of a lot of money. But he made sure that he wanted to gather all this information, understand what's going on, and let the money sink in a little bit, because it's not going to go anywhere unless you make it go somewhere. So just chill out. That's step one. Step two, stay quiet. And I cannot emphasize this enough. So I'm going to give a little quick story about me and coming into a bit of money. So I won a Pro Line ticket, which is basically you pick sports. I picked six games, 3 basketball games, 2 NBA games, or 3 college basketball games, 2 NBA games, and 1 college football game. And this ticket, my $20 ticket, ended up paying $7,000. So, silly me when I won this, and thank you to Deshaun Watson. You are awesome. Clemson Tigers beat Alabama for me to win that ticket. But I posted it on Facebook that I came into $7,000. Within about an hour, 3 people were asking me for money. Now, that's just $7,000. Imagine you came into $1 million. What would happen if people found out you came into $1 million asking you for money? And I'm not saying these people are bad people. It's just people need and want money. So if you have it, I would just keep it secret. Only tell people you know you can trust. And that will include close family. I wouldn't even tell the rest of your family, to be totally honest, unless they already know for some reason because it's a family affair. But ultimately, just keep it quiet. Loose lips sink ships, and everyone's going to come out of the woodwork to give you stupid advice what to do with the money that is not theirs. Remember, it's not their money. You don't have to listen to them. And if they were so good with money, they would have money, not tell you what to do with your money. Most people have no clue what they're doing with money. They're going to come with ideas like investing in a stupid business that they want to start, or investing in whatever crazy investments are flying through the pan right now. Crazy stuff that may or may not be in the next couple of years. And if you actually look at the athletes that go broke, most of them it's because they've been taken advantage by people that are close to them, and they've actually invested in things that were high risk, including friends' businesses or high risk investments that exist out in the marketplace that can double your money, but you don't need your money to double. So why are you going to do that? So I suggest you just stay quiet. Keep it to yourself. Why do you need to tell anyone about it, to be totally honest? I mean, maybe write it down on a piece of paper, write a will right away. Make sure if something happens to you the next day that this money's going to go to who you want. But yes, keep it between you and the closest people, the people you could trust the most, that you know won't take advantage of you or bother you moving forward. The next one. Don't make a massive purchase right away. Remember I mentioned breathe. The stat here, it says that 20% of people buy a new house right away. Right away. So you are used to living where you're living right now. All of a sudden you come into money and you feel the need to buy a new home. The largest purchase of your life. Because you can make it now, you will make it now. There is nothing wrong with waiting to do this. Researching a little bit. Making sure that you're buying a good price for the home that you're getting into. The big thing about it is just because you have your money doesn't mean that you need to spend the money. Now, a lot of people feel like, well, I have $500,000. I could spend the $500,000 on a home. Is that house even worth $500,000, or are you just buying it because you have it? If they start selling toilet paper for $50 for a 12-pack of toilet paper, are you going to spend that on that toilet paper just because you have it? Just because you have the money doesn't mean the value of it's right there. You need to make sure that you're still researching. You're still treating this as if you didn't have the money, because you need to do everything possible to make sure you're getting your full value from the purchases that you're about to make. So, don't make any big purchases right away. Do your research. Again, breathe. Don't need to listen to anyone. don't need to do anything. If you die tomorrow, you're dead. So what does it matter? You need to make sure that you're doing and putting the plan in place to make sure that your life is better. Next point, pay down debt. Now, this is something I would recommend doing right away. If you have credit card debt, if you have debt that exists like a student loan or a line of credit or things that are hampering over, if you owe family money, make sure that you pay these things down right away. Now, for me, being out of debt is massive. You want to make sure that you're out of debt because this asset means nothing if you still hold all this debt. It's going to hamper your monthly cash flow, and the relief it will bring from being debt-free is a huge thing. So first things first, before you buy anything other than maybe lunch, is pay down your debt. Get rid of that debt because that's going to make you feel better. Now you are positive net worth in the big time and making sure that you are moving forward with the right plan in place. Debt being gone is step one. Step two, establish some goals. What do you want to do? When people come into money, clients of mine come into money, they always ask me, what should I do with them? I'm like, well, what do you want to do? Like, what do you want to do? This money is a blessing that's come upon you and you need to use it the right way. But at the same time, this is your life. What do you want to do? Write down some goals of things that you've always wanted to do. Have you always wanted to travel? Have you always wanted to, help out other people, which is an amazing goal for people? Have you always wanted to own a home by the lake or something like that? Like, let's write down these goals and make sure that you are going to accomplish them and take some time to really think about these goals that you have. Establish them. Now, most people I know don't even establish goals because they don't feel they have the means to accomplish these goals. But now you do. So write these down. Write them down and see exactly what you want to do. And this is why I think you should breathe and take some time, because sometimes when you get into this process of establishing goals, you're going to come across things that you never thought you wanted to do, but now you realize are very important to you because you have the means. I have a client recently that decided to set up college funds for his nieces and nephews because he has no children. What an amazing goal. And this comes from the sale of a house. Now, he's not spending a fortune on it, but he's putting money in place that over the course of the next 10 years are going to provide a decent amount of money for his nieces and nephews that will actually help them pay for books, go to school, give them a little bit of extra pocket money. That's something he felt was important to him, and I think that's awesome. So establish some goals. Think about what you want to do and think about things you care about. That's the big thing. Next point, read up on investing. So many people just don't understand investing. Honestly, everyone has an opinion on investing. Don't listen to them. Get your own advice. Get your own information on investing. The problem is that people think things are a certain way and they're not. There's room in the market for everyone, and it doesn't mean that you should do exactly what everyone says. Even me. Don't listen just to me. Listen to other people. Weigh your options and find someone you trust. Watch what other people are doing with their money. Go on Google. Everything you need to do is on Google. Type in investing for beginners on Google and I guarantee a bunch of things will come up. You need to make sure that you understand what it means to invest your money, because it is investing your money that's actually going to make you propel your wealth moving forward. This is how you set up a legacy moving forward. Next part, follow the markets. So maybe you don't follow the markets on a regular basis because why would you? It's boring. I like doing it, but that's my job. You don't like doing it because it's boring and it makes no sense to you. But maybe you should start doing it. See exactly what is driving market movement. See exactly how much the markets can go down in a day or up in a day. We had days last March, about a year ago, where the markets went down 10% in one day. We had days where they went up 5% in one day. These are swings that are going to happen. If you see that these things happen, not regularly, of course, but if you see that they happen, then you'll be prepared for when they happen next. You need to make sure that you understand that market movement doesn't necessarily translate to you losing all your money or you making $1 million. You need to make sure that you're following the markets and understanding that these movements occur and what drives them. Right now, today, February 16th, what's driving the market is optimism about the coronavirus vaccine, but there's also oil prices are slumping because of the deep freeze down in Texas. Make sure that you're staying warm in Texas. I feel for you. 6 inches of snow, that's a deep freeze, a snow blast in Texas. Here in Canada, that's called Tuesday. But I want to make sure that you are following the markets and understand what drives market movement. Understand the emotion that exists in the market and how you could separate yourself from that emotion because you are not focused on the day to day. So follow the markets a little bit. See exactly what they're all about. Listen to CNBC or BNN News Network where you're actually understanding what's driving market movement on a daily basis. The next point, think about your fears. What's the worst thing that can happen to you? And one of my clients who came into a large sum of money, a really large sum of money, her biggest fear was being broke within a few years and then living with that. And honestly, that would be my biggest fear. If I lost all my money somehow with a stupid move or a stupid gamble or a stupid idea and I just fell down that trap, and living with that regret is my biggest fear. I fear that more than my money not gaining a cent. I would fear that more than never making another dollar again, because then you know for the rest of your life you're going to live with that fear of knowing, or that regret of knowing that you blew this opportunity to become wealthy. And that to me is my biggest fear. So jot down some fears you have. One of them could be taking advantage, like someone taking advantage of you, and that's another fear. So this is why writing down your goals and your fears are important, because you need to understand that trust is what's going to build this wealth for you. Having trustworthy people around you and writing down things that you don't like, including obviously fears, but then things that rub you the wrong way about, say, the investment industry or about investment advisors in general. These are all things that, hey, write it down. Make a video for yourself to understand exactly how you feel about this situation. That's an important thing. Next one, think legacy. Honestly, you have an opportunity to change lives for the better. That's if you keep your money intact and you do the right thing with it. You're not looking to double up overnight. What you're looking to do is make your money grow incrementally over time, which with a large sum of money, you can be very, very, very wealthy. Now, people always shun the fact of the richest people in the world when you look at guys like Elon Musk, or you look at Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, Warren Buffett. Why are these guys so rich? They are simply rich because their money is invested. Now, if you are invested in the stock market, over time, you will make tons of money if you have a ton of money. Now, if you have $100 million and the market does 10% that year, that means you made $10 million, right? If you have $100 billion with a B, that means you made $10 billion. Now, the thing is with this is that if you have $100,000, that also means you made $10,000. And over time, this compounds. This is where the 10, 20, 30-year plans come into play, and you can make your money really work for you and leave a lasting legacy. I show one 20-year-old client that she could have over $50 million by the time she's 65 if she simply left her money alone. Now, that's easier said than done for most people, but at the same time, those possibilities are there. So start thinking about what you can do and where you want to be in 30, 40 years. A lot of people have this YOLO mentality, which to me is like the biggest crock of crap I've ever heard in my life. YOLO mentality, you only live once. Yes, you only live once. I get it. You know, you got to experience life. I get that too. But you can live forever too. You can live a long, long, long time. And I'd rather make sure I put a prudent plan in place and maybe not fully enjoy life. Maybe do the little things that make me happy and enjoy day-to-day things, and maybe not blow all my money because YOLO. Instead, enjoy my later years in life as well, instead of eating out of a can of dog food when I'm 80. So let's make sure that we're actually understanding that our legacy exists to help us move forward, as opposed to YOLO, I'm going to live every day to the fullest. You can kind of do both. It's all about balance, folks. So the next part, enjoy yourself. Yes, this is important. Make sure you're enjoying yourself. There's no point in having money if you're not having fun. Now, in moderation doesn't mean grab an 8-ball and go to Vegas and put everything on red. What it means is that you're chilling out. You're doing the things that you want to do in your life. Say, take a trip. There's nothing wrong with that. Make sure that you have, maybe you've been wearing ratty clothes the past 5 years because you just were sacrificing to take care of your family. Yeah, get a new wardrobe and whatnot. Make sure you're enjoying yourself and enjoying this blessing that you've come across, but always think about the future. Think about the things that you want to do 10 years from now, as opposed to just the things you want to do in the next 10 days. And that's where I think we get caught up when coming into a large sum of money, is that we think that this money is just going to evaporate, so we got to use it quick. Got to get out of that mentality. It's very, very, very important. So that is my post about coming into a large sum of money. If you come into a large sum of money, make sure that you do your research. You look out, find trusted sources. If chat. If you want to talk, give me a call. Honestly, shoot me a DM, shoot me a text. Make sure that you are actually reaching out to different people. No one owns your money but you. This is your money, your legacy, your way of helping people in the future. And that is what, in my opinion, everyone should be doing when they come into a large sum of money. Doing some research, become educated on money and investing so that you know that you can make your money grow over time and live the life that you want to live, because this is a blessing unless you turn it into a curse. So I'm going to leave it at that. Make sure that you're following, liking, subscribing on YouTube. Make sure that you're sharing this post on IG and Facebook, and make sure that you follow me on Twitter as well. At Real Budget Boss is the handle. You can text me at 226-378-7748 if you would like, or you can email me at joe@budgetboss.ca. You can even book a meeting at budgetboss.ca/contact. So I want everyone to have an amazing week, a shortened week. I want everyone to enjoy this beautiful, balmy, snowy weather that we're having here. And down in Texas, stay safe, stay strong. Get that heat working soon, I hope, okay? Everyone, have a great week. Peace.